Some houses don't warn you when you step inside. They don't creak, they don't scream, they don't look haunted. They simply wait. And by the time you realize something is wrong, the house already knows your name. In 1987, Michael Anderson learned this lesson the hard way. Michael was originally from Ohio, but work had taken him nearly 2,000 miles away to Bakersfield, California. He worked a government railroad job, long shifts, long nights, and lonely weekends. His wife Laura and their 2 small sons were still back home. After months of living alone, Michael finally decided to bring his family to California and start fresh. He searched for a place close to work and eventually found a room that felt almost too cheap to be real. The landlord asked for 2 months' advance rent. Michael paid without hesitation. At the time, it felt like luck. It wasn't. Within weeks of moving in with his family, the house began to change. Or maybe it had always been that way, and they were only just noticing. Later, the story would be told by Michael's eldest son, Daniel. He was only 4 years old then, but some memories don't fade. They sink in deeper with time. That same year, Michael was transferred again, this time to Sacramento. Better schools, better opportunities, at least that's what he told himself. After weeks of searching, he found another cheap room in East Sacramento. What made it feel safer was the fact that Laura's sister lived just behind the house, in a narrow alley. Cheap rent, family nearby, felt like the right decision. The house had an open courtyard that never quite felt warm, even during the day. Old wooden cots were scattered outside, untouched. Tall trees blocked the sunlight, casting long shadows that didn't seem to move with the sun. The elderly landlords lived downstairs. Upstairs was a long corridor with 2 rooms. One was permanently locked. Laura noticed the silence first. It wasn't peaceful silence. It felt heavy, as if the air itself was watching. From the first night, she felt uneasy. She told herself it was exhaustion, stress, the cold February air. Michael dismissed it. He had work to focus on. One evening, while cooking dinner near the doorway, Laura noticed a shadow slide across the curtain. Not fast, not sudden, slow, deliberate, like someone walking past the room. She stepped into the corridor. Empty. The locked room beside theirs hadn't moved. Still locked, still silent. That night, Laura didn't sleep. She kept hearing slow footsteps pacing outside their door, stopping, then starting again. The next day, while Laura was washing clothes downstairs, Daniel ran toward her screaming. He said he had seen her upstairs talking to a woman. Laura laughed nervously and ran back up, until she saw her younger son sitting on the bed, smiling at empty space, giggling as if someone were playing with him. That was the moment fear settled into her bones. Things escalated quickly after that. Blankets were pulled off her body while she slept. Knocking came from windows that couldn't possibly be reached. A low, angry growl echoed from outside the room one evening, freezing Laura in place. Daniel began waking up crying, saying someone was watching them, someone who didn't like them being there. On a quiet Sunday morning, Daniel suddenly fell off the bed and accused his mother of pushing him. While Laura tried to calm him, she heard a woman's voice whisper directly into his ear, telling them to leave or everyone would die. As Laura carried Daniel down the stairs, something shoved her from behind. She fell hard. Daniel's head hit the floor, blood spreading quickly. Michael blamed Laura at first. He hadn't seen what she had seen. That night, Michael stayed alone in the room, writing a letter. When knocking started at the window again, he assumed it was a thief. He shouted. He threatened. The knocking stopped. Then the air grew heavy. When Michael pulled back the curtain, he saw her, a young woman, floating just outside the window. Her eyes were wide, unblinking. Her hair hung partially over her face. She didn't scream. She didn't move. She simply stared and said one thing: leave, or everyone dies. Michael didn't tell anyone what he saw. He didn't need to. The next morning, he packed everything and vacated the house immediately. Later, neighbors revealed the truth. The locked room belonged to the landlord's daughter. She had been in love. Her parents had forbidden it. She ended her life in that room.
No propè funeral. No closure.
Months later, another family moved in. Their teenage son fell from the rooftop. Before he died, he said someone had pushed him. Michael never went back. Daniel never forgot. Because some houses don't want tenants. They want replacements. Michael never spoke about that house again. Even years later, when Daniel grew older and asked questions, Michael would fall silent. Some memories aren't meant to be shared. Some doors are better left closed. The house in East Sacramento still stands today. Different paint, different tenants. But people in that neighborhood say the lights sometimes turn on by themselves. And the locked room upstairs still remains locked. Because whatever lives there doesn't like being disturbed. If you're listening to this late at night, alone, remember one thing. Not every place that feels empty truly is. And if you want to hear more true stories like this, stories that people were afraid to tell, stories that followed them long after they escaped, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Because the next story might sound like fiction until it starts feeling a little too real.